Welcome back, y'all. Welcome back to another episode of Blue Couch Therapy. It's your boy, Chuhagobi, your player partner from the East Coast. Yesterday in my live, somebody was saying, you talk too fast, at least in the live, so I'm going to try to talk slower in this one. Let's see if that does anything for anybody. So, guys, the topic of today's discussion is going to be the two laws that you need, the two laws of the universe that came to me yesterday in the spirit as I was awaking. So, the two laws of the universe that I need to adapt in order to deal with, to create the life in which I want to, and to experience the success in which I desire, is the law of detachment and the law of assumption. So let's go break it down, guys. Let's break it down. So the law of detachment is a simple one and such. I have to even do some more research. Let me pull it up right now because I got two phones, one for the plug and one for the. But yes, law of detachment. The law of detachment states that it's a type of deductive reasoning based on logic, stating that if the related given statements are true and the correct logic is applied, then the conclusion will also be true. The more like if and then statements. So it's essentially, to me, I'm like, okay, if I'm alive, then I will make it. Let me say that again. If I'm alive, then I will make it. And guys, as of February the 23rd at 1:07 p.m., I am still alive. Okay, one day I won't be, and I think that's pretty funny. But I say all that to say that it's like the law of attachment is if, then. For all my coders out there that know, I know a little bit about Python, so they're if and statements, or if then, greater than, less than statements. So the law of detachment to me is like, okay, well, you have to detach yourself from the end result. You have to stop worrying about money as if it's the only thing on this planet. It's just a tool. It's just a tool, guys. Because sometimes I used to be so caught up with the idea of making money and always having money on me. But now I just like chill. I'm getting more relaxed about it and just being like, okay, well, yeah, I'm getting more relaxed about it, and I'm not letting it be the control of my life, because no matter what, like for all these business gurus and all these people, and they're still all like controlled by money. You know what I'm saying? Like for all these, I don't want to say anybody name because we're all, you know what I'm saying, out here. But it's just kind of like, they talk about money's not everything, but money's the only thing. So now I'm detaching myself from it. I'm detaching myself from the idea that like I have to work hard for money. Money comes to me easily, guys. The last I just got came into what, $5,600 recently, and that was from school. It's some of it I got to pay back, so I'm not saying that it's free, but I am getting free money. I do know, there's government grant programs and there's things that I need to look into and apply for so that I can get it. But it's like I don't have to work, and I don't have to. The funny thing is like I'm getting more money like the less that I'm working. For 2025, I said to myself, okay, what I want is more money, less work, and that's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm seeing right now. So it's like I'm detaching myself from the outcome that says that my bank account always has to have like $10,000 in it, or it always has to have this kind of thing in it, which even as I'm explaining it to you guys, I feel the aggie, I feel the excitement, I feel the fear, I feel the anxiety in my heart, but then we know, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So I transmute that. I took a moment. Okay, I took a deep breath and I think to myself, okay, but like, yeah, you're worried about money, but like, are you not all there is? The Bible talks about that God knows all the numbers, your hair, all the hair on your head is numbered. The birds don't go to church, the birds don't flock, and yet still they're fed every day. So are you not better than a bird? You feel what I'm saying? So it's like, I know for a fact that like God has got me, and the law of detachment is just like, okay, just like let it go. Just let it go. Yeah, it's just let it go. It's just to let it go. And sorry, I was just looking at I don't know if you guys can see it, but I was just looking at the rules about how to fight a coyote. Guys, I think I will bust a coyote in his face if it ever tried me. I'm not scared of a coyote. anyways. Okay. So the law of detachment, for me, the law of detachment is like getting rid of this idea that it has to be now, getting rid of the idea that it has to come in a particular way at a particular time. Because funnily enough, it's like you never freaking know, man. You never freaking know. You never freaking know how it's going to happen. You never know when it's going to happen. And you never know what really is going to happen. So I'm detaching myself from all outcomes. I'm detaching myself from all outcomes and just like letting it be, because it's like, even still, guys, I always joke about it, and I don't want to. It's not my reality, but I always just say to myself, like, even through this portion of my life where I'm in the hole, I'm working my way out of it, and I'm like to myself, I laugh because in my mind I'm like to myself, heaven forbid, if worst case scenario would I file for bankruptcy, I get rid of my car and I clear everything off. Guys, time gonna pass me by. It's only gonna it's they stay a bankruptcy stays on your credit report for 7 years. After 3 years, you can get back into the game. So I'm just like to myself, like, hey, okay, and somebody gonna look at this video and they're gonna say, no, you can't. You gotta wait the full 7 years. Okay, fine, bro. That's fine. I don't care. All these people, all these business owners going bankrupt like 4 or 5 times, 6 times. You wait your time and then you reset the game and then you come back with all the knowledge that you learned. So to me, I'm like to myself, guys, like there's nothing that can hurt me. There's nothing that can hurt me. So now that I've detached myself from this idea where it's like, oh well, if I go bankrupt, then bro, I don't care about buying a house right now. And I can buy a car cash. If I ever had to get rid of Sylvia, the one that I'm using right now, I can get another car cash. I can get a job and live my life. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me personally, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? I care about my family. I care about my friends. I care about my life. I care about this message that I'm bringing to you guys. And I care about you watching this video. But I don't care about like, well, the bank said this and now your credit score is this and that. Guys, I don't want to be a slave to the bank anyways. So what to me, what's the big deal? What's the big deal? You know what I'm saying? Let's just say I crash out and then you come back again and man, but even still, that's not my reality. Even still, I don't believe that to be my live reality, but we'll see what the future holds, right? But guys, just know that no matter what happens to me, I'm good. I'm good no matter what, man. So that's the first thing. The law of detachment. I'm detaching myself from all outcomes and I'm detaching myself from the desired state. I just live in the desired state, right? And then the law of assumption, that takes us to the law of assumption. The law of assumption, let me read the definition for you. I can get that going for you. Law of assumption, just so I make sure. The law of assumption is a state that is a principle that states that your assumption about yourself and the world around you will shape your reality. So to me, the law of assumption is I already am a cash-rich millionaire. I'm a cash pig. I make millions of dollars by speaking my mind. Guys, I get paid to speak my mind. And you can too. So, just a rich young millionaire from rocking the mic. I make music, I make movies, I make YouTube videos, I stream, I write books. So, and I assume, what's my assumption is that I allow money to flow easily into my life. Abraham Hicks have that topic in one of the books that I'm reading, where it's just the idea that it's like, I allow money to come into my life. You don't have to sit there and say, I gotta earn it, I gotta make it. I allow it to come into my life because it's just a transmutation, guys. It's just a cycle. If you think, we talk about it all the time, but money, they put money under water law for you to use. Never forget that. They put money under water law, for you to use. So understand the water cycle. That like when you get the water, it rained down from the top. It rained down from the Federal Reserve, and then it go into precipitation or whatever the case. I don't have the water cycle on me right now, but just paraphrasing. So it's like you come out of nowhere, it come out of the clouds, it rains, it goes down to the businesses, and then from there it goes down into the root system, and then that's where we get it. We get it at the end. So by the time we get it, you spend it so that it can go right back up to the top and then rain down again, and then the cycle continues to go and go and go. So it goes from the Federal Reserve or the top banks or whatever to the businesses, and then from the businesses to the people, and then from the people back up to the top. So that's why you have to pay taxes twice. You pay taxes when you buy something, you got to pay taxes at the end of the year. So it's like, for me, I'm like to myself, okay, I understand this now. And sometimes I go back and forth, but it's just like, if the money is there, it's always there. The $5 that you spend today just went into somebody else's bank account, and then it's going to go back to the Federal Reserve or back to the government. Because what was funny was when I was doing courier, I had gotten a check. I got a check from TD Bank, right? That's what their bank they were using. That's the bank that I'm using. So it's like the check, essentially, guys, it's with the check, the piece of paper, money with numbers on a paper. It just transferred from their TD Bank account to my TD Bank account. It's just a transfer, guys. It's just a transfer of energy. And then when I spend that money transfers out of my bank account into whoever it goes, and then they use it, and then it transfers somewhere else, until eventually it goes back to the top, and then it rains down again, guys, and then it rains down again. The Wire taught us that money don't have any owners, only spenders. All you can do is just spend the money. That's it. You can't own it. You can't, and if you think about it in terms of like other energy sources. If you think about electricity, you can store electricity, can you? I think you can. But you got to use it. You have to keep it moving. You have to keep it moving. You can't just keep it in your bank account. You can't just keep your electricity in your yeah, you can't just keep it in your bank account, you know? And the funny thing is, like, even now I feel that. I feel that aggy because I'm like, "Oh, guys, you know, I went from 5,000, now it's down to 4,000, and it can be at zero soon." But I'm like, write your book, man. Finish your book. Hire somebody to help you get it online so that you can put it out online, market it, and make more money. You see what I'm saying? And help people along the way. Guys, I'm getting hyped because I love you guys, and this is the stuff that I live for. Okay? So I say, like, through the law of assumption is just assuming you are the person that you wish to be and then living that assumption. So it's like, for me, I assume that I am him. I'm the one. So I have enough. I always have enough. I always have enough to pay for everything. Sometimes, even as we speak to you guys right now, the bills are a little bit behind, but it's okay. It's okay because I know where I'm going. I know who I am, and I understand that this world, this 3D world in which we're living, is behind, man. And they have to get better. It has to get worse before it gets better. And yesterday I was just documenting all the things that were getting worse before they get better. So I understand that I'm seeing that my greatest breakthrough is on the way. My greatest breakthrough of my life is here, guys. It's here. So, you know, I say all this to say that it's like, I live in the assumption of the truth. I live in the assumption of my life in the way that in which I want it to go. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, as a result of that, like, I can't live my life in fear. I can't just sit here and be like thinking about, oh, well, you know, this, and what if they report my late payment to the credit bureau? Guys, whatever, man, whatever. So as I live in my assumption, I live in my truth. I live in my assumption, I live in my truth. And I can't lie, guys. It gets scary sometimes. Sometimes I feel aggy, man. Sometimes I feel as though I'm like, oh man, like, what if I'm, but then I think to myself, like, but also think about your life. Think about your life in the grander scheme. I'm 32 years old right now at the same time. And think of all the times you've ever been left hungry. Never. Think about all the times you've ever been without. Never. It's just never, like, or it's just not always the amount that I want to see, because I always want to see hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars. But I'm just like to myself, when have you ever gone without? When have you ever been starving? Never, guys. Never in my life, man. I fast a lot. Yeah. The longest I've ever fasted was for 7 days. We talk about that. But in that instance, I've always had food. I always had the ability to eat if I wanted to. It was never that deep to me, you know? So, and then even I don't remember what the scripture is off the top of my head, but I'm gonna paraphrase it. And it's just the idea that it's like, go ye without food for milk and honey, something like that. So even without money, go ye without money and to get milk and honey. So it's like, even guys, man, like, I understand fully to myself that God has got me, and that, like, this world is designed to keep you scared, man. This world is designed to keep you, like, consuming. This world is designed to keep you in this state of, like, fear and lack and you know. And then as you continue to live that way, as you continue to think that way, then you can continue to experience that. You would continue to experience the lack in your life, you know? So it's like, for me, as I am coming out of that, old thinking, out of those old paradigms and those old habits, it's like, it's the last hurrah. The universe always have to, like, if you say, okay, they always have to test you, guys. It always have to test you. That's why they call it the testimony. When you finish, you get a testimony. So the test that I'm in right now is, like, I can either decide, and this is what I think, guys. This is what I think, and I know that whatever I say doesn't always come to fruition in the way that I'm thinking about. Sometimes things don't go as I predict them, but they always come true. Is that the old frequency with, like, all these debts that I have to pay and all these things that I have to pay. It's just pay. It's just money, guys. It's just money. It's just a money thing. So if I say 300,000, I want 300,000 in my TD business bank account. Okay, I'm putting that out there into the universe as cash, liquid cash to hold and to use. That solves everything. That solves all problems. So it's like, if what was I saying? What was I even saying? I was just calling for the money. $300,000 in my TD business bank account. For you to like this video, and you will get it too. But it's just kind of like, okay, so I'm always just like, well, Yeah, that's going to solve everything. That will solve the problem. And it's just monetary. And right now it's like, before it get better, get worse, right? So it's like, as we're continuing to go through this process, and as we're continuing to go through this lived journey and this lived experience, like I said, guys, I'm repeating something, is that sometimes it can get scary. It can get scary, guys. Sometimes I'll like be in my bed and I'll literally be like feeling aggy, and I don't, and the funny thing is like, it makes me not want to get up and do, but it's like, the more you do, the faster you're going to get to where you want to go. You feel what I'm saying? So I say all these things to say, guys, that it's like, living in the law of assumption is like, I'm living in my desired reality. I'm living in my desired state. And the funny thing is like, I've proven that to myself already. So I don't know why sometimes it's hard to just let it go completely, especially for me when it comes to the money. But it's like, that's how I lost 60 pounds, living in the law of assumption. I assume that I'm going to be living this way, and I'm going to be weighing this much, and I'm going to have a body that I can rely on, and a body that can rely on me. So it's like, I've proven that. I've proven it to myself. I wanted a new car. I manifested it. I'm the Sylvia that I'm using right now. So it's like, it's so funny for me to think that like, I see these things in my life. I experience these things in my life, but sometimes like, I still fear them. So it's like, almost kind of like, you don't really believe, or you're still, what's the term I'm looking for? Yeah, like, you don't really believe if you feel that way. So that's why I'm really just like leaning into it. And then I say, that's what I was gonna say, is that like, in terms of the work life, and the universe pulling you back, or pulling you into, because it wants to create harmony. If you think about the Libra scale, there needs to be balance. If you think about yin and yang, polarity, positive and negative, the two pillars of the Gemini, it's have to be balanced. There have to be some kind of balance at all times, guys. Okay, so it's like, what the universe is saying, or like what I'm saying, is that like, no, I'm rich, guys. I don't have to work for money. When money works for me, I wake up, I click, and I get money. Okay, I don't have to go and toil in a warehouse and things like I used to do in my old life. Okay, so not to say that I wouldn't, guys. Okay, I'm not saying nothing, because who the heck knows what could happen tomorrow? They might call me and tell me something, and then I could do it. Okay, so nothing is never finite. I just share these things. So it's like, in my old life, or in my old way of thinking, my mind would be like, okay, well, you have bills, so forget this creation stuff, forget the music, forget the YouTube, you need to work. You need to go and work a double job, so that you can make $1,000 a week, maybe 12, because even when I was like hustling like that, I make like 2 jobs, making like $1,000 a week, it's pretty good money if you ask me, but at the same time, not if you got to work 80 hours for $1,000. So, yeah, so that's what my old frequency, my old life, it's like, I'm pulling out of it, going this way, saying that like, no, I'm rich, money works for me, I don't work for money, I allow large sums of money to come into my life easily and effortlessly on a daily basis. I love money because money loves me. You should even listen to Dollars Want Me, that audiobook. I don't remember who the author is, but Dollars Want Me, great book. Now, and then this side, I go this way, and then my old frequency is trying to pull me back this way and say, okay, but you have bills to pay today. They're going to call you and they're going to say they want the money. Like Fat Tony says, where's the money? When are you going to get the money? Why aren't you getting the money now? I am, okay? So it's just like this old frequency pulling me back this way. And in that mindset, I'll be like, okay, well, guys, I can't go live anymore because I got to work. I can't do this anymore because I got to work, or I have to. So I'm like to myself, I'm really leaning into the point of where I want to go instead of where I am, instead of where I think I need to go. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm in the law of assumption. I'm living my life as the assumed reality in which I want it to be. And guys, like now I'm free. I have time freedom. I have location freedom, and I'm in the gym every day. Where's the money? The money's coming to me from wherever it is right now. Okay, I heard that one from, I think it was Bob Proctor. Well, the money's coming from wherever it's gonna come from right now. I'm planning the tour, and I'm like to myself, like, where am I gonna get the money for the tour? I need some cash for the tour. But at the same time, I'm just like to myself, well, it's gonna come from wherever it is right now. We just talked about it from being a water cycle, being under water law. So it's like, wherever it is now is going to make its way to me. I just call for it, 300,000. And I've seen it already. I've seen it already in my bank account before as it passed through. This time I want it to stay. Okay? So, and when I say these things, like, I can send you guys the documents, man. I can show you. That's why I'm putting all these things into guides. I'm going to show you guys what the word is. So, I just say all this to say that, like, law of attachment is to detach myself from the desired outcome. and just live as though, get in line with nature. I'm at my parents' house this week, so I've been staying up a little bit later, kicking and chilling and stuff. But next week I'm back into, in bed by 6, in bed by 10, up by 6, in the gym in the morning, and then work all day, so that you can. And I don't want to say work, I mean create all day, because like this stuff going to you guys live. That's why people are like, you make a lot of videos. I'm like, man, I can make 10 videos a day, maybe 20, if I'm really, this is not work to me. I don't feel like this is work to me. So the funny thing about it is, for me to be in this predicament is just like, okay, well, you have to really now tune in to the frequency in which you want. All the desired realities are here. All the desired realities are here for you. You just have to tune in. It's like the radio, the analogy of the radio, and the brain being the receiver, right? Because you can even look it up. I think there's the same crystals that are in the brain are found in the receivers of the radio frequencies that allow them to transmute the music and stuff like that. So guys, they're telling you this stuff in your freaking face. You know what I'm saying? They're telling you these things, but it's just a matter of like understanding it and believing it. Okay? So with that, it's like I have to stay in the desired frequency. And then it's like with the radio is like, you can turn it to 88.8, or you can turn it to 103.5, or you can turn it to 97.7. And like all three of those channels are all playing at all times. You have to just tune into that frequency, use your knob and tune in, because that's literally what it's like when you talk about going with the flow. It's like making that little change, and then now you flow and everything goes, and then now you're like a millionaire before you even know, before the year's even over. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's why I'm like to myself, okay, I'm not going to sit here and be I'm not going to sit here and be scared. I'm not going to sit here and be scared by the notices and by the phone calls and by the stuff. I'm literally just going to be like, yo, guys, the money's on its way. The money's here, and you'll get it when I get it. So I live in the law of detachment, guys. Those are the two things that came to me in my spirit as I was waking up this morning, is the law of detachment, to detach myself from the desired outcome and to just live my life to the truest and fullest potential. And then the law of, what did I just say? And the law of assumption, to assume my life in the way that I want it to be and live as though I want it to be that way. Okay, guys, another example of somebody who's lived in the law of assumption is Conor McGregor and Donald Trump. You can look at their stories and you can see that you have to assume. You have to assume the life in which you want it, and you have to live that way every day, even though when things around you are not looking that way. That's why it's such a lonely journey. That's why being on this kind of mission is such a lonely journey, because like people are going to hear this stuff and they're going to say, well, that's ridiculous. You should get 5 jobs because you have bills to pay, but I'm not here to be a slave. So I'd rather create for you guys. And even if it meant 1 year I had to wait, so what? So freaking what? Because I'm only 33 right now. And if I think to myself, okay, even if I just say until 150, live to be about 150, that's 120 more years. So it's like, what's 7 years? What's 1 year? What's 6 months? You feel what I'm saying, guys? So it's just like, yeah, I live in my desired state. I live in my desired reality, and I live in my desired state, guys. That's why you see I go to the mall. I go to the mall and I try on $50,000 Rolexes right now, even though I owe the bank money. Because it's all for me. I understand these things are all for me. I just made I learned some things along the way. So that when the real thing come in, you'll be all right. You'll be all right, So with that, guys, I just say to you guys, $300,000 in my TD Business Bank account. I'll let you know when it arrives. And then I'm a young cash-rich millionaire, guys. I'm a cash-rich millionaire that is doing this thing. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to, because everything I say comes true. So I just want to make sure there's nothing else I want to say before I let you guys go. But yeah, Conor McGregor talks about that. It's like, to make it, you got to be a little bit gone sometimes. You got to be a little bit gone. And yeah, I see that. I see that completely, that sometimes you got to be a little bit gone in order to manifest these things and to turn these things into reality. Because for any sense of the word, like to make it is insane, is insanity to think to yourself that like you could have a boat and a yacht and 300 million in the bank. But people live that way. People live like that. I was just writing about in my essay how to want more for yourself, that like think of your desired outcome, think of your desired life, law of assumption, and live in it, live in that truth. And then understand that like people are already living that way. So before this one gets too long, guys, I should play a partner from the East Coast, Drew Hagobi, coming to you guys live from Brampton, Ontario today. Go get my book. Go get my book, How to Get It, A Brief Guide to Getting in Tune with Your Inner Self. The link will be available down below. Listen to my EP and let me know what your favorite song is. This is me while you're 99, guys. My second book, Follow the Threads, is going to be available very shortly, within the next week or two. And as well as my essays, guys. Okay? So with that, I say I love you guys forever, guys. Peace, blessings, prosperity. I'm out of here, yo. Later.